What's good, Commanders fans? So training camp day 2. If you have not heard, AGG Antonio Gandy Golden has decided to retire from football. It's ironic and kind of funny because last night I was on Real Robinson's stream with Louie and Street Scores, and Real Robinson asked a question. He was like, "Who do you think is gonna push to make the roster, or guys who are kind of on their last leg on the team like Calvin Harmon and Sadiq Charles and other guys, Ishmael and Khaleke Hudson?" Who's going to make an impact and make the roster or make an impact on the season somehow. And I brought up AGG, because I was like, hey, this guy's moving to tight end. He's got the size, the ability, the hands, the hops, the contested catches. He was really good at that at Liberty. And I was like, I feel like he can come in and make an impact at tight end. But, everybody was joking on me. It was like, nah, AGG is not good at all. And I was trying to pump the guy up. But all jokes aside, he's retiring to focus on school. I know he's a smart guy. He's really good at the Rubik's Cube. I've never been able to finish a Rubik's Cube before. I don't think I've ever accomplished that. So I know he's a smart guy, smart young man, 24 years old, 4th round pick. I remember I was so excited when we drafted him. I said he was going to be the steal of the draft. I know a lot of people said that as well. Same thing with Bryce Love, and he ends up retiring early and going back to school as well. So, but I respect AGG for his decision. Football is a business. It's not for everybody. Shout out to him for going to school to get his degree or whatever higher education he's going to accomplish. I'm happy for him for that. And a lot of people don't even make the NFL. So I'll give him props to that. The one play I remember from AGG is that reverse play against the Browns. It was he ran the ball for 22 yards. And he in his career, he had 1 catch for 3 yards off 7 targets. So those are the career numbers for AGG. So that reverse run was a really nice run. Played special teams a couple times as well. So shout out to AGG from Liberty, man. Unfortunate how his career went. I really had some high hopes for him, but it is what it is on that part. Chase Rouillet has been lifted from the PUP list as well. I just got that notification on my phone. So training camp has been pretty dry. I know it was a lottery ticket system. Nikki Zavala showed a picture of the training camp. Basically, nobody was there. Looked like there was more porta potties than people there in the picture. So, you guys let me know. If you're at training camp, let me know how the crowd is. I know it's unfortunate. The lottery ticket system, I know a lot of people weren't able to get tickets. So, compared to other years where, it's just free 99, you can get a ticket or whatever and just show up for real. So that's how I went a couple of years ago. But looking at other teams training camp, like the Bills and Broncos, other teams, there's like a line. And I know people are saying, oh, it's the middle of the week, but that doesn't matter. Last year, the middle of the week, I know it was a good amount of people there as well. But it is what it is. Let's start off with the play-by-play here, all the updates. Antonio Gibson was on the side field again with the hamstring, abundance of caution from Ron Rivera. This is from JP Finley. He says, Chase Young, Logan Thomas, and Antonio Gibson all working out on the side field. Logan Thomas has a leg sleeve, but no brace or sleeve for Chase Young. Maybe the Twitter doctors can tell me what any significance that has. That's why I said I'm not getting caught up in the Chase Young returns thing and Logan Thomas comparing the surgery and whatnot. I'm not doing that. So, we'll just see whichever one comes back. Zach Selby says, nice play by Jeremy Reeves to break up a pass from Sam Howell intended for Calvin Harmon. So Jeremy Reeves making plays. Hopefully he can make the roster because I know he made the practice squad last year and then he played against the Eagles. So we did need him in the last couple of games of the year. We definitely needed Jeremy Reeves. And he played well in the 2020 season as well. Matt Paris says, training camp team drills day 2 observations. Cole Hogan with the camp's first takeaway, who just picked off Carson Wentz thanks to a diving breakup from Kendall Fuller. Good effort. And then Zach Selby also explains the play in more detail. He says, first interception of training camp. Carson Wentz hits De'Ami Brown in the chest, but Kendall Fuller popped it loose with Cole Holcomb getting the pick. If you were there at training camp, please tell me if De'Ami Brown just dropped the pass, because saying that it hit his chest is kind of broad. Did Kendall Fuller have an arm in there and then it popped out, or did De'Ami just drop the ball? Because he had a really bad drop last year against the Bills, and that's his homework for this all season. He cannot have concentration drops. And that's something that De'Ami Brown needs to work on for sure. John Kime says, running back Antonio Gibson on the side field, expected. Don't see Antonio Gandy Golden on the main field. This was before practice, so we already know why. Zach Selby says Dax Millen has been pretty reliable so far. Had a few grabs yesterday and already had 2 today. So Dax Millen, can he prove me wrong? I don't have him making the roster. Antonio Gandy Golden actually had him making the roster, but I was wrong on that. Basically, old takes exposed. I'm hearing that Curtis Hodges has been impressive. He pressed day 1. He's been looking pretty good so far in the offseason workouts. Nikki Zavala just says, oh, this is the same thing. Zach says Chris Paul just got beat pretty easily by Shaka Toney, who had a clear path to Sam Howell. So Shaka Toney, with Chase Young being out, there's more reps available for guys. Him, James Smith-Williams, Casey Tuhill, all the backup defensive ends. I think Shaka Toney he provides the most pass rush juice and the most explosiveness. I remember the game where he got the sack on Russell Wilson on Monday Night Football to basically seal the deal for us. Zach Selby says he says Kendall Fuller has been one of the clear standouts today. He just blew up another play, this time to Curtis Samuel. So Kendall Fuller, man, he's been balling so far, only 2 practices, but he was rated really high. And Madden, I know it's Madden, but we were all happy that Madden rated Terry top 10. So, you got to give Madden a little credit to give him rating Kendall Fuller top 10 of cornerbacks as well. Now, he was rated really high by PFF as well. Like I always say, PFF isn't gospel, but I didn't see Kendall Fuller get beat much. I know Mike Evans beat him, but I didn't really see him get beat much last year in the second half. I know in the first half, yes, he was struggling. William Jackson, they both were getting burnt toast, but I'll say in the second half, both those guys did play better. We need both those guys to step up for sure. Montez Sweat had a heck of a day, apparently, from everybody. Zach Selby says Montez Sweat is jawing loudly at the offense after beating the tight end Armani Rogers, who went to Ohio, who was a quarterback, and transferred to tight end. So he has a learning curve as well, who was supposed to block him. Don't put no tight end on me. And another thing I'll say about AGG, he probably looked around and just said, hey, he's not going to make the roster. I don't know if he wanted to do another year on the practice squad or what. So he probably looked at those things and took all that into consideration. Curtis Hodges, even with Logan Thomas being out, I guess he looked around and was like, hey, he's still not going to make this roster, even against Armani Rogers. So Montez Sweat talking trash and don't put no tight end on me. I remember last year Montez Sweat was talking big trash in training camp too. So we just got to see it. I think he had a solid year last year. He just had a lot of things happen off of the field. Family member passing away and a broken jaw. He had a lot of things going on last year. So I do want to see him lock in and focus, not be focusing on the sack record, him and Chase Young, but just focusing on playing together and as a unit with the defensive line. Ethan Cadow says Carson Wentz just completed a 10-ish yard in to Curtis Samuel, who then proceeded to put a nasty step back juke on Ben St. Juice. Good to see Samuel making moves like that. I'm telling you, Curtis Samuel's the X factor, man. If he can make plays and make guys miss and be shifty, he's a yak guy. He's the X factor. I'm telling you, he really is. Him, Terry, and Jahan, it should be a nasty trio of wide receivers. Matt Parrish says Washington has largely chose to deploy the three cornerback sets rather than 3 safeties. St. Juice continues to get the nod over Danny Johnson, basically at the slot position. Matt Parrish says Trey Turner's not practicing, and so Sadiq Charles has been getting the right guard reps. Elsewhere, Montez Sweat is dominating. Don't send no tight end over, he yells after taking advantage of the mismatch. So basically, everybody hyping up Montez Sweat today. He had a really good day. Matt Parrish says the defense has absolutely crushed the offense so far early into camp, but this is even more severe than yesterday. I'm not tracking completion numbers, but it'd be ugly if he was. So we all heard OTAs and mini camps that Carson was killing it. The offense was looking leaps and bounds ahead of the defense. It feels like every year in training camp, the defense is always dominating. That always happens. So, I won't take too much stock in this. We just need the offense to gel and get some chemistry. I know Carson and Terry, they're getting their chemistry, and Carson with everybody's getting this chemistry together. So we'll see what happens. Zach Selby says Christian Holmes has put together a really good day. Just had another pass breakup. So Christian Holmes, the rookie, we'll see. He's a very physical player. So we'll see. We need some cornerback depth really bad. So I think he's gonna make the roster. I do. Zach Selby says Wentz airs it out again to Terry McLaurin this time, but it falls incomplete. Troy Apke was covering. So Trapke making some plays. He does really well in training camp. Zach Selby says Montez Sweat has been in the backfield a lot today. Zach Selby says Ron Rivera having a length chat with his players after practice. This probably was about AGG. It was probably, AGG probably went in this morning. If the Commanders were on Hard Knocks, this would have been intriguing. I love watching Hard Knocks. I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but I know everybody's like, oh, I want the Commanders on Hard Knocks. I used to be like that, but then I just didn't care. I guess I matured, and I'm just like, I don't really care if the Commanders are on Hard Knocks or not. I couldn't care less. But this would have been something to see. AGG walk into Ron Rivera's office and tell him that he's retiring. Pete Hill says Montez Sweat has a PhD in shiggity talking. Kyle Stackpole says Montez Sweat having himself a day for the second day in a row. Just got to Wentz again for a would-be sack. He said, I love this shiggity, I do. And Kyle Stackpole also says Wentz just let go of a bomb, maybe 60 yards in the air, that just bounced off of Terry McLaurin and landed incomplete. Unsure if Troy Apke got his hands on in there, but Terry should have caught it. So they're still getting the chemistry there. Terry McLaurin is human. Sometimes he does have some drops here and there. And Kyle Stackpole goes on to say, regardless, that's the type of arm strength the Commanders haven't had in recent years. Kyle Stackpole says Sam Howell update here, saw Carson Wentz deep ball and countered with one of his own, hitting Calvin Harmon in stride for the would-be touchdown. A Calvin Harmon sighting, that's good to hear. Good to know. I don't think he's going to make the roster, but he can make the practice squad. It's been an uneven day for the 5th-round rookie, but that was a great throw. So Sam Howell, he's just having normal rookie growing pains, having an up and down day today. Kyle Stackpole says it's been a day dominated by the defense, but Carson Wentz just had a nice throw down the left sideline to 2021 7th-round pick Dax Milne. Then Carson Wentz backs up that with a beautiful deep ball off his back foot to Jahan Dotson in stride. So the chemistry with Jahan Dotson is always there with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz with a great throw to undrafted rookie Jaquez Ezzard, who I like a lot, out of Sam Houston State, did transfer from Howard University on an out route just out of reach of the DB's outstretched arm. So I like Jaquez Ezzard. If they keep 7, that's the only way I can see them keeping him on the roster, but on the practice squad for sure. I think Jaquez Ezzard, he's a shifty guy. I really want to see him in preseason. I want to see him play in preseason because he's like I'm not going to call him a human joystick, but man, he can make guys miss in a phone booth for sure. Kyle Stackpole also says a lot of short throws from Carson Wentz during this session. And the defense is coming up big, an interception and several pass breakups. Jamin Davis got a pass breakup today, too, so we got a Jamin Davis sighting as well. Quotes from Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera said the connection between Bobby McCain and Cameron Crowe has been very strong. I'm happy to see that. You know, Jack Del Rio talking about OTAs last year is a big reason why they got beat deep and miscommunication and blown coverages. So we want to see Bobby McCain and Cameron Crowe on the same page, 100%. Kyle Stackpole says Ron Rivera says they need Curtis Samuel to be dynamic and explosive for the offense this season. Had one play today where he showed that, shaking and baking a defender before heading upfield. So I'm telling you, Curtis Samuel, he's the X factor. I'm not gonna put all my stock in him, but if he's there, man, I'm telling you, if he's there, that's a big boost for the offense. John Combs says Terry McLaurin, after seeing Curtis Samuel make an explosive move after a short catch versus St. Jude's, stopped on a dime and got another 10 yards. It gave me flashbacks to college and seeing what he could do with the ball in his hands. Looks like he has a good spring in his step. So encouraging news for Curtis Samuel there. Ryan Fowler says, keep an eye on tight end Curtis Hodges in Washington. Long, fluid athlete with a massive catch radius. He stood out in day one and is someone coaches are high on. So maybe AGG looked at Curtis Hodges and was like, hey, man, this guy, he might be the real deal. Cole Turner's the real deal. So, you know, I might want to focus on school. Matt Perry says day 2 appropriately ends with an interception. 4th stringer Cole Kelly, the big, tall quarterback, is like 6'8" or something like that, was picked off twice in the last session. So he's kind of seeming like, what's the quarterback that was here and then he got cut and then he got picked up by the Lions on the practice squad. They wanted to use him as a wildcat guy, but I can't remember his name. He was a quarterback here last year in preseason. He used to throw interceptions left and right in practice. 4th stringer Cole Kelly was picked off twice in the last session. Carson Wentz group, though, probably had their best stretch of the day. Jahan Dotson with a nice catch down the sideline. But for the most part, a rough day. So, yeah, that sums up everything. There's a couple quotes here and there, nothing big. But, yeah, not a lot of fans at training camp today with the lottery system. You know, that's what they decided to do. Hopefully they don't do that next year, but I will be at the open practice on August 6th, which is a Saturday night. So that should be a lot of fun. And AGG, man, I wish him the best. I think he's a good guy and a smart guy. Hell to the Commanders. Peace.